What's up, agency owners? Jason Swenk here with another great episode of the Smart Agency Masterclass, a podcast dedicated to the digital agency owner that's wanting to grow faster and really figure out what is working for other agency owners. And on today's episode, we have an agency owner that's been doing it for a while, and they just went to, for a couple months, they've been doing the 4-day work week. And we're going to talk about the good, the bad, what's working for them. So let's go ahead and jump into the episode. Hey, Chris, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jason.
Yeah. So tell us who you are and what do you do?
Yeah, hey, my name's Chris Free. I'm president and partner at an agency called Chromatic. We've been around almost 15 years, 15 years at least that I've been involved, and primarily working and building websites on the enterprise level using Drupal and WordPress. And we have spent a lot of time just partnering with other agencies and other firms to level up their teams and deliver on their Drupal and WordPress projects.
Very cool. So I presume the past couple of years have been a grind. It's always a grind for, agencies. How did you guys get into running an agency? Are you an accidental agency owner, or did you have plans and, to start an agency? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I always had dreamed of running my own business, but never thought it would be a digital agency. When I was a kid, I was probably dreaming of building computers for other people and getting paid to do that. But yeah, I'm totally an accidental agency owner. I graduated college with a degree in interactive media. Really thought I was going to get involved in video production. There were no jobs in Chicago for video production, especially at the junior level, that I could find. And so I leaned on some of my programming skills, got a job at an advertising agency right outside Chicago. And they were just getting their feet wet with doing stuff on the web. I was probably the most talented developer there, and I was the most junior person in my career. Quickly realized that I had a ton of value to deliver, and so joined forces with some friends I went to college with who had already kind of started up an agency. They were just slinging code and building websites for anyone that would pay them. And I was like, hey, they had enough work for me to join up, and fast forward a year or two, I quit my job and was full time with them. And then within maybe 6 months, I was an owner. And fast forward a couple more years, and we bought out the original founder and added a couple more partners, and had employees and benefits and the whole bit, and total whirlwind. Not at all what I expected my trajectory.
And when did it really start getting really stressful and overwhelming?
Geez, that's a great question.
Right at the start?
Well, I recently just stepped down as CEO. I was CEO for a number of years, and probably during what I would say was our most trying time during COVID. So that was certainly the most stressful. But I honestly, if I'm honest with myself, it probably got the most stressful when I stopped doing the things that lit me up. And I'm an engineer by trade. I learned all that. I cut my teeth building websites. And I didn't realize how much that lit me up and how much that gave my soul when I was only involved in sales and, dealing with benefits or management problems. Boy, did I realize this is not exactly what I signed up for, but you're kind of trapped in a way. Each day there's some other fire that needs putting out or some other problem that needs addressing. And that's definitely been my
I think
experience.
a lot of us, especially the accidental agency owner, I had the same trajectory. I knew how to do websites really well, and I really enjoyed it. And then I got to a point where I needed help. And then I started turning into a really bad manager and a really bad salesperson and a really bad, all these things that originally I didn't like doing. But over time, I actually started liking some of that stuff. But it's really kind of interesting to hear that story because I think it resonates with so many of us. Let's talk about, you guys have built a really amazing culture, and also talk about why did you guys go to the 4-day work week? Because a lot of people on our mastermind are starting to think about doing that. The more and more I talk about kind of how we structure our week, they're like, well, how could that work for us? So what made you think about it? How did it go? How did you do it?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, I've got two business partners. My one business partner, Dave, he read this great book, Time Off. I'll definitely hold it up so anybody wants to check it out. John Fitch and Max Frenzel, and it's all about how hustle culture is kind of eating us alive and all that kind of stuff. So um, we all read it, and we found that they have this concept of we have a great work ethic in our culture, but not a rest ethic, and we need to start leaning into that. And we started being honest with yourselves about what lights us up at work and what doesn't anymore. And it's been we just decided we need to make a change. So let's jump in with both feet. We started with a half day. Um, as of this Memorial Day, we went to a full day off, and the results have been on the business side not as impactful, and on the culture side and like human side, tremendously beneficial. Like people are absolutely loving this. We get on our all hands team call every Monday, and everyone's like, I had the best. I feel like I've been off work for forever. Like I feel like I actually rested. Um, so it was born of the leadership really felt like we needed to take a break and get some more air, but also, we're going through COVID and everyone's a little bit more stressed out and a lot more anxiety and all that kind of stuff. Like, let's try it for our team. Um, so that's kind of the impetus. But then also this book just told us like, you might get better results from your company. Like your people might do better work. They might deliver more value in a shorter amount of time. Uh, so that was the foundations of why we made the change. And to be honest, like I don't know how we're gonna unwind it if we need to, because it feels so right to be on Saturday morning being like, I've got 48 more hours till I need to do this again. It feels so good.
So
So it's like
what day are you guys taking off? Is it Monday
Fridays,
or Fridays? Okay,
Fridays.
Fridays. Why did you guys pick Fridays?
I think because we're engineers mostly, and you don't deploy on Fridays because it can ruin your weekend. And so it's the natural choice. We're not going to be merging code on those days anyway. So that's the day we should do it. And it's usually a quieter day, like on
Mm-hmm.
interactions with clients, because a lot of people take off on Friday, or especially in the summers. There's a lot of time off. So it just felt like the natural fit for us.
So you don't deploy on Thursdays now, right?
Well, that's really interesting, because that was like the first question engineers on the team were like, well, does that mean we can't deploy on Thursdays? We have to only ship code Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And we kind of like relaxed that. We try really hard to like have really good workflows and PR reviews. And like, we try to make sure that if we're merging code and it's going to go out to production, like we're so confident that it's not something we often have to worry
Mm-hmm.
about. So we're merging on Thursdays, just not as much as, you know,
And then did you roll this out? So a lot of people are probably wondering, did you roll this out to the whole company all at once? Did you start with the leadership team or
yeah.
what happened
We
there?
rolled it out to the whole team. We basically, my partners and I, we had a meeting in Chicago. We decided we were going to do this, and we said, well, we need to kind of step into it slowly. Like, how do we make sure we don't, torpedo the business and the finances of the business, which we historically have run very conservatively. Like, we carry no debt. We have a credit line. We've never once drawn on it. We pay all our bills immediately. And cash flow, is so important when running an agency. Like, you're always a couple months out from, a cliff, right? There's not enough work or whatever. So we've been very conservative with our money. So this was to us, a big risk. And so we stepped into it slowly. We rolled it out to the whole company, but we said we're going to do last summer, we're going to do Memorial Day to Labor Day, half days. And then we got to Labor Day and it was like, this is having no material impact on our finances. So let's just continue. So we rolled it through the rest of the year. And when we got to Memorial Day this year, we took those 4 hours away. So everyone's off all weekend, or all day Friday. And like I said, the results kind of speak for themselves. Now, other reasons, it hasn't been the best banner year for us financially. So it's kind of hard to like point to, is it the 4-day work week? Not, but like we're doing fine. We're just, our profitability isn't as high as we would like it to be. but we kind of see this as a longer term play, as a means of building the culture that we want, the lifestyles that we want, the lifestyles our people seem to want. And hopefully that means, senior talent stays around longer. And ultimately, this will ultimately pay for itself down the line.
Now, what do you tell your clients? Do you just tell your clients, hey, we're going to the 4-day work week. We're not available on Fridays. How did they
Mm-hmm.
take it? Because I know a lot of people listening, they're like, well, man, my clients are going to always, they're going to be like, what the heck?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a person who worries way too much about what the clients think and are feeling, but everyone took it surprisingly well, and with a that's pretty awesome. Like we've had some clients who were like, "Can I come work for you?" Like, and I'm gonna quit my job if I so they took it surprisingly well. I can't say that that's going to be the case for everybody, but we were very delicate with it. And like there are means by which if there's a fire or a 911 emergency that they can get in contact with us or someone on the team, and there are ways to have our cake and eat it too in that regard. And so far, it's been successful.
Do you find your team is more efficient? They get more done in the 4 days than the five? And I asked that because I remember we were a really fun office at the first agency. And I just remember we would just fuck off on Fridays, honestly. Like, I don't think there was much work getting done, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, we would never schedule meetings on Friday. We were just like, hey, what you doing this weekend? Let's ride
Yeah.
around the scooter around the office, or, what prank are we going to pull on Debo or whatever it is, right? Like,
Yeah. It's we've been remote since day one, so there's always a little bit more separation. We actually have to work really hard to like have that camaraderie that you're talking about, like that. Let's go play Xbox or something in the coffee room or break room or whatever. We have to like manufacture that, and it's something I think we've gotten really good at. Like, we do team retreats, and we've got twice a week. We got all team calls where we're not talking work, we're talking about us and what we're into and what's going on with our lives, and everybody gets a voice and all that kind of stuff. But we've really had to manufacture that. As it pertains to efficiency, I'm not really a great numbers guy, but look, my gut says we're doing more in less time. And because honestly, a lot of people were fucking off on Fridays anyways. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it looks like my camera just died.
you're good.
Anyways, the it's just been, from my perspective, I think we're doing more, and people are in general happier than not. So like I'm really pleased with that as a result.
That's awesome. Well, this has all been amazing. Is there anything I didn't ask you, Chris, that you think would benefit the audience?
As an agency owner, I've had a really hard time in the last couple of years balancing work and life. Um, and so I think it's really important as an agency owner that my one business partner, Mark, he always says, you got to put your mask on first, before you put someone else's mask on. And I have not been doing that for the last 15 years. So I'm trying really hard to prioritize my own well-being, because it's going to make me a better manager, a better leader. And it's really easy to chase and fix problems and the couple of fires that pop up on the day to day, but you've got to see the longer term and take care of yourself. Running an agency, a digital agency, is a total grind, and I do think it's tantamount to your success in your long term to prioritize your own health and well being.
I think that's great advice. And also going back, just making fun of your video froze for a second, but you got lucky because it froze with you smiling. Usually it freezes with people going like making the
Yeah.
weirdest faces. So
Well, I'll take it. I'll take it.
you took it. You took it. Well, awesome. What's the agency website people can go and check you guys out?
Yeah, we're over at chromaticHQ.com.
Awesome. Well, everybody go check that out. And if you guys want to be around amazing agency owners on a consistent basis where they can see the things that you might not be able to see, have a shitload of fun from coming out to our digital agency experiences in Colorado and all over the country, as well as meet on an ongoing basis where they can help you grow and scale your agency. Be a shoulder to cry on sometimes, or be like, yeah, I go through the same shit. I'd love to invite all of you to go to thedigitalagencyelite.com and check it out. And maybe we'll have a conversation. And until next time, have a swank day.